Welcome to our tour of one of the most storied streets in York and our magical mystery meander around Micklegate. Standing here amidst the architecture and bustling atmosphere, take a moment to imagine this vibrant thoroughfare as it was centuries ago, a busy gateway with traders and travellers. Micklegate derives its name from the Old Norse term meaning the Great Street and has been a pivotal route since the Roman era, witnessing the ebb and flow of York's history. It isn't just a street, it's a living tapestry that intertwines the threads of York's past, from the time when Viking settlers called this place home, through to the medieval period and into the heart of the industrial age. As we stroll along, keep your eyes peeled for the architectural gems that line the way. Engage your imagination and think about who may have walked here before. Knights on horseback, merchants with their wares, and perhaps even a royal or two, for Micklegate has seen more than its fair share of royal processions. We'll uncover the rich stories that make Micklegate a true gem of York's heritage. So let's rediscover the characters and events that have shaped this remarkable city. Please be mindful that this is a historic city and features uneven pathways, narrow streets, and small spaces. So watch your step. Let's go. From 1840, York blossomed into a pivotal hub in the expanding railway network, and the remaining buildings and infrastructure stand as a tangible reminder of the city's vital contributions and visionary entrepreneurs who laid the groundwork for modern railways. This is an area filled with railway administration buildings that, from 1840 onwards, buzzed with the vibrant atmosphere of the old York Railway terminal. Think soot, smoke, and the constant hustle and bustle. By the 1850s, the connection between York and London blossomed with 13 trains a day, transporting a staggering 341,000 passengers a year. Fast forward to today, and that number has surged to 86 trains, carrying approximately 1.1 million passengers a year. But the story doesn't end here. George Townsend Andrews infused the striking Tudor design into the road access leading to a coal depot for the Great North of England Railway Company, near Barker Tower, which is nestled by the river. These beautiful arches, all within a 500-yard stroll, create a delightful footpath linking Barker Tower to Micklegate. However, the arrival of the new station in 1877 transformed everything, and traffic surged, creating what you see now. So, as you walk through these historic arches, cherish the incredible stories that have unfolded here. I want to take you back in time to the year 1814, when a remarkable new structure was completed here on Toft Green. A toft was a dwelling, and here was an architectural gem in the realm of correctional facilities, crafted under the skilled hand of architect Peter Atkinson. This prison was not just an ordinary building. It was hailed as one of the best constructed prisons in the kingdom, designed with both form and function in mind. Imagine 4 distinct buildings made of brilliant white brick, all encased within a sturdy high brick wall that stood as a protective fortress. At the heart of this impressive establishment was an octagonal building, serving as the governor's residence. This space also housed a chapel for spiritual reflection, where the Reverend William Flowers would lead services every other Sunday and offer prayers every Tuesday morning. The construction of this facility was a communal effort, funded jointly by the city and the Ainsty, with the city contributing 3/5 of the total cost. When the Ainsty was re-annexed to the West Riding in 1835, the prison began to feel less necessary, and by 1838, the city decided to close its doors for good. The inmates were moved, and this remarkable institution became another chapter in the city's storied history, completely lost. Micklegate Bar is the grandest of York's medieval gateways and a stage for history's most significant events. It has served as the main entrance to the city from the south for centuries. At least 6 reigning monarchs have passed through this threshold. Tradition holds that they stop here to seek the Lord Mayor's permission to enter. This tradition dates back over 600 years. Just picture the scene during Henry VII's visit in 1486, where a colourful procession met him, dressed in vibrant robes, amidst cheers from the townsfolk. The royal insignia adorns the archway, signifying its importance. The sword-bearer would present the city's ceremonial sword, a symbol of power, before the monarch steps inside. During the tumult of the English Civil War, Micklegate Bar saw fierce battles, with royalist forces retreating and parliamentarians entering in 1644, marking a turning point in the siege. Every stone of this gateway tells stories of royal visits and civil strife and the enduring spirit of York. Built primarily in the 12th century, the gate evolved from a wooden structure to a formidable stone fortress, featuring battlements and arrow slits for defence. Its 4-storey facade incorporates Roman masonry and gritstone, reflecting layers of history. Notably, after Richard III's death at Wakefield in 1480, his severed head was displayed on Micklegate, crowned in paper as a mockery of his claim to the throne. Just one row of medieval houses remains on Micklegate, as much of the street was redeveloped in the 18th century into elegant townhouses for the gentry. As you walk, look up and keep your eyes out for the difference in architecture and see if you can spot which houses may hide medieval timber frames. Holy Trinity Church is a historic landmark with a rich history spanning nearly 2,000 years. Originally part of a Benedictine priory founded in 1089, this site has witnessed centuries of faith and community life. Despite a devastating fire in 1137, the church was rebuilt, leaving behind fragments and most of the surviving structure from the late 13th century. The church dates back before the Norman conquest, as this site's origins are believed to extend back to Roman times. It's mentioned in the Domesday Book of 1086 as one of the 5 great northern churches, standing proudly alongside York Minster. In 1089, Norman monks established a grand monastic complex here, transforming it into a thriving Benedictine priory, supported by Norman patrons. The churchyard is reputedly haunted by the ghost of a mother who lost her husband and child to the plague. Stories tell of her spirit searching among the graves, seeking reunion and peace. Others have said they have seen the family singing the hymns during services. Nearby, you'll see remnants of old punishment stocks from the 18th century. And in the churchyard, generations of nuns from Bar Convent lie buried, with the earliest recorded burial dating back to 1700. Across the road, we see the Falcon Micklegate. Imagine the year 1715, and this charming inn was at the centre of a scandalous lawsuit between Sir Peter Vavasour and his wife, Lady Jane, who was accused of secretly meeting her lover, William Parker, the steward of her husband, in this tavern. Makes you wonder what other stories of love and deception might still linger in this historic place. Travelling forward to 1736, when the renowned historian Francis Drake praised Falcon Micklegate as one of the 2 finest inns on this lively street, though which was the other remains a mystery. In the 19th century, diarist Anne Lister also visited, adding to its storied past. Let's now look at the buildings. Notice how 18th century influences transformed medieval structures. At numbers 69 and 71, original foundations were extensively remodelled into double-pile houses, showcasing remarkable Georgian craftsmanship. Interestingly, craftsmen faced challenges fitting perfect square rooms onto timber frames, leading to solutions like the insertion of a Doric column on the first floor. A charming example of architectural ingenuity and fake windows to cover the timber frame. Moving further back in time, the parish houses at 74, 75 and 76 stand on land once filled with small cottages, part of the old St Gregory churchyard, unified with St Martin's in 1586. Built in 1822 for just £8 a year, these homes marked a new chapter for the community. The properties transitioned to parish ownership, reflecting ongoing changes. And just 2 years later, in 1874, these buildings were mortgaged to the Yorkshire Insurance Company, hinting at the financial struggles that lay ahead for the church. Number 68 Micklegate is a historic treasure steeped in over 350 years of vibrant social and intellectual life. Imagine stepping back in time to when Henry Giles hosted lively gatherings here, transforming this house into the York Virtuosi, a bustling provincial salon for artists, architects and thinkers. Throughout its history, this home was a hub of creativity, where figures like brewer Sam Smith, architect John Getty, and sculptor Samuel Carpenter shared ideas and inspiration. Local artists, Francis Place and John Lambert, the son of a famous parliamentarian, also called this house home, and Lambert's portrait of Giles now hangs in the British Museum. Notably, the scientist Nathaniel Johnson once persuaded Isaac Newton to visit Martin Lister, a prominent member of the Virtuosi, pioneering doctor, and naturalist who studied spiders on York Minster's spire, and even performed Charles II's autopsy. This house isn't just bricks and mortar. It's a gateway to a dynamic era of innovation, art, and remarkable personalities that shaped history. St Martin's Church is a fascinating historic landmark, with roots stretching back over 1,000 years. First mentioned in the Domesday Book and again in 1175, parts of the current building date from the 13th century, with additions from the 14th and 15th centuries. The striking 17th century red brick tower, though it appears modern, is actually clad medieval brick, giving the church a timeless presence. The oldest feature is the nave, built in the 11th century, possibly before the Norman conquest, with later enhancements like the 13th century arcades and 14th century north aisle. Historically, the church was central to the community, standing near the butter market, which was an important trading hub for northern England, and surrounded by vintners, bacon factors and noble families visiting for the city's annual season. Horse tramways used to pull up the hill to the mount, and in earlier times there were sedan chairmen offering snug lifts to the Georgian gentry. In the early 20th century, the church owned several properties along Micklegate, notably numbers 73 to 76, reflecting its role as a local landlord. Despite financial challenges, including a significant mortgage taken in 1934 and subsequent debts, the church demonstrated resilience, with lending support helping to manage these complexities. Nearby, the Crown Hotel and houses at numbers 23 and 25 tell their own tales of negotiations and community bonds, such as the 1925 agreement between the church and Tadcaster Brewery to reduce ground rent, which was a dispute which rumbled on for 2 years, and is a testament to the enduring relationships that have shaped this vibrant neighbourhood. In recent years, the church became the home for the Stained Glass Centre in York, but now the church is looking to sell it, which will give St Martin's a new reincarnation for the 21st century. Just off Micklegate, you'll find George Hudson Street, named after the railway king who once co-owned a third of Britain's railways. With a £30,000 inheritance, equivalent to around £5 million today, Hudson transformed from a draper into one of the era's most notorious railway speculators. His success relied on questionable financial practices, often paying shareholders out of company capital, which eventually led to his downfall. Discredited and bankrupt by 1849, the street was renamed Railway Street. But in the later 20th century, York restored its original name, reflecting a measure of forgiveness and remembrance that Hudson played a key role in connecting London to Edinburgh by rail, orchestrating major mergers such as with the Midland Railway, and turning York into a vital railway hub. St John's is located at the corner of Micklegate and North Street near Ousbridge, and has a rich history dating back beyond its redundancy in 1934, after which it has served various purposes. Today, it functions as a lively bar and nightclub. The church showcases a blend of architectural styles, including Norman features and later Perpendicular Gothic elements from the medieval period. One of its most distinctive external features is the short, squat brick and timber-framed tower built in 1684, adding a unique charm to its historic facade. Saved and restored by York Civic Trust, it was used by the Institute of Advanced Archaeological Studies and then as York Art Centre before it became a bar. The church's history reflects the broader story of York's development and the various uses that historic buildings have been adapted to over time. If you continue on towards Ousbridge, remember, as you cross it, back in 1729 at Ousbridge Jail, we find a heartfelt story of 25 impoverished prisoners who depended on the kindness of passers-by for just 3 pennies of food each week. Their plight highlights the struggles of the era, where relief measures meant to aid the poor often overlooked those at Ousbridge Jail. Interestingly, the right to beg was only established in 1579, offering prisoners a rare chance to seek help from the public and survive another day. Moving forward to 1809, the bridge itself became a symbol of social disparity. On the North Bank, a lively community thrived with trade and entertainment, whilst just across the water on the south side, residents faced a different reality, paying tolls at Ousbridge to access the bustling city. For labourers and residents alike, these tolls were an unfair burden, making everyday travel a struggle just to reach work or the market. The bridge was more than a crossing. It became a stage for social struggle, reflecting the divide between privilege and hardship, and the resilience of those fighting to survive. As we come to the end of our guided tour, I hope you've enjoyed exploring the rich history woven into the streets of Micklegate. From its Roman roots to its vibrant present, this corridor has been a witness to centuries of stories, triumphs and transformations. Before you go and walk away from Micklegate, I invite you to stroll a little longer along this historic street. Perhaps pause to admire the intricate architecture of the old buildings, or enjoy a coffee in a historical cafe or visit a museum. Don't forget to snap a photo or two to capture your experience, and you can share it with us on either Facebook, Instagram or X. Thank you for your curiosity and enthusiasm as we walked through time together. Remember, the stories of Micklegate continue to unfold, so come back and explore again. Until next time, goodbye.